Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a really challenging last few months for many of us. And as you know, we're being called on our resiliency as a community. So we reached out to some of our clients who are making an impact to share their stories of resilience and to hopefully give you one or two actionable takeaways to help you survive and thrive through this challenging time. Today, I'm super excited to sit down with, remotely of course, Michelle Ng, founder and president of Vancouver Foodie Tours and Granville Island Delivery Co. Hi, Michelle, welcome.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being with us today. I'm really excited to chat. So before we jump in, what is Vancouver Foodie Tours and Granville Island Delivery Co. and what do you do?
Yes, so Vancouver Foodie Tours is a food walking tour company. We have been offering culinary walking tours in the city of Vancouver for the past 10 years. And as a result of COVID, we had to pause our foodie tour business on March 13th. And essentially had to cancel all of our tours. And over the next couple days, I came up with the idea that we could pivot to a delivery service for the Granville Island community. Really, that's our home base, and that's a community that we really love. And we've also seen how the market merchants have really been decimated by the pandemic. And we wanted to find a way to support the merchants along with continuing to offer employment to our own team and making it easier for locals to stay at home. And that's really how the idea of Granville Island Delivery Co. was born, was really bringing the popular products from the markets to the doorsteps of Vancouverites.
That's amazing. And what a huge pivot. And I can say, as a customer, an early customer of Granville Island Delivery Co., it's
Yes,
so cool. And it's such a great feeling to be able to support our local community. So, congrats on that huge pivot.
thank
That's
you.
amazing. So, what does resilience mean to you?
Resilience. They it means several things to me. First of all, I'm a huge believer in the possibilities in life, and I really embrace the mindset of how, like, when things happen, when difficulties arise, just asking myself the question of, like, how do I overcome this? How do I find the solution to this? And the underlying belief is just that I believe there's a solution out there, and somebody is going to find that solution. The question is just who's going to find it and when. And so that's a big part of resilience, is just believing that there is a positive outcome, and you just need to find the path to that. And also, as an entrepreneur, we live this roller coaster of up and down every day, every month, and we are in the business of solving problems, and so we're definitely going to have those tough times, especially during the current situation. And resilience really mean, how do you pick yourself up again after you've fallen really hard, and it's really just always, how do you get up and how do you take the next step, and how do you take the next step forward for your business and for yourself. And for me, I'm a big people person. That's my greatest strength and my greatest weakness. And I believe that for most strengths, is that it's just the two sides to that same coin. And because I believe and care about the people in my business so much, especially those that have fought those battles with me day in, day out, that I just they hold a very special place in my heart. And so then the challenge with that then is just, if if they were to leave the company, it's a huge blow. And how do I pick myself up again? Those are probably the toughest moments for me, just because that's what I care about most. And for me, again, it's just believing that there's a positive outcome to those situations, and that the relationship is successful, whether it's short or long term, and just knowing that people um, have made huge positive contributions to the business is really just focusing on the positive and focusing on the future possibilities that, as businesses grow, the ideal person for certain roles will also change with time. So with change comes opportunities, just like right now there's lots of changes, and with changes it can oftentimes be quite tough to handle, but with that also comes opportunities, and that's really how I see and interpret resilience.
That's so cool. And now you're over 10 years into your entrepreneurial journey. At what point did you come to that realization that everything is a problem that can be solved? Is that something that you had from the get-go, or is that something that you've picked up along the way?
Yeah, I had that mentality before I started Vancouver Foodie Tours and Granville Island Delivery Co. It's a mentality that that I started embracing probably in my early 20s, and this is my not my first business, but yeah, I've had this mentality for a long time, and I think that the cool thing with that is that it really helps you see the positive in whatever situation is thrown at you, because there's always a solution. It just is whether you have what it takes to find that solution.
That's so cool. Which which hurdles have you personally faced as a business leader, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, I would say it would be the people side of the business, would really be the biggest hurdle. Again, because I'm so people oriented, it's really when employees that just have made huge contributions to the business. I know how much they care about the business, and they've really fought those battles with me day in, day out. But lives change, priorities change, and oftentimes I I tell my team members that, you know, life is short, and our time is really the most precious thing we have. And if at any one point you wake up and feel like this is not the best use of your time anymore, and that there are greater dreams that you ought to be pursuing, then I encourage you to do that, and to really follow your passion and follow your heart, and know that that I'm going to always support that decision, even though I will probably be very sad. But yeah, that's a conversation that I have with my team members all the time, and that's how I look at my own time, and just how I choose to spend my time is just, I ask myself this question every day: is live today as if it's your last day, and is this how you want to be spending your time? And if the answer is yes, that's great. But if it's no too many days in a row, you owe it to yourself to just ask yourself those big questions. And I think that, that's what we can do for our team members as employers, is, as
Mhm.
much as we value and love having great people on the team, things change, and that's okay. And we need to be jumping out of bed every day and really looking forward and loving what we do. So it's both a strength but a curse as well, in that it does, like, it's such a big blow to me personally when they happen, but those relationships continue much past the business relationship as well. So it's both business and it's both personal, and that's also how I overcome it, is just knowing that people are being very conscious with how they're investing their time, and that's a great thing.
Hmm. Michelle, what is your top tip for others in your industry this year?
Top tip, I would say, is really to embrace the startup mentality, to throw out all the rules and all the assumptions, um, and the plans that you had for yourself prior to the pandemic, and really question everything you're doing. Start from first principles, and really listen to your customers and what they need and want. Really thinking hard about what your strengths are, what you can offer to the world, and what does the world need. And it's really where those two things intersect that's going to be the answer to how and where we should be investing our time and our energy. And that's really the gift that we can offer to the world.
I love that so much. Should I know this? What are first principles?
Yeah, so it's really going back to the basics of the truths and the cause and the effects, and that's really how we came up with just such a quick pivot to or from a food walking tour to mostly a food delivery model. Is just what is our strength. Our strength is in creating memorable, special experiences for people that really light people up. That's what we have been doing really well and recognized for. What does the world need, the community need from us right now? It's a safe way to really enjoy the products from Granville Island in a way that really is a highlight of their day. And with those two things in mind, we came up with Granville Island Delivery Co.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. My last question for you. What is the best HR or recruitment related innovation that you've seen in the last year?
Yeah, so in the last year, I would say it's not so much an innovation, but just a revelation, just a realization that hiring is such an important, such a big part of business, but especially for us because people is such a big part of our work, um, and therefore it's important to invest um, appropriately into it. And as a small business, in the past, I've pretty much taken on like the whole process from beginning to end. But because I got to know Nicole and Beacon HR, I realized that I have options, and I'm able to delegate or outsource parts of that process that either I just really don't enjoy or I'm just not very good at. And I don't have that same expertise. And if somebody else can be doing the same thing but in a much more effective way, that's really going to help my business so much. And it's really just that realization that's getting help outside from skilled experts can really help improve that process for everyone involved, for myself and for the candidate as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the nod there, and I love how we worked with you. It's just what you need. Super fractional, super part time, whatever pieces. you don't want to own fully, or maybe you don't have time to, you want to get back to what it is that you do best, which is
Mhm.
leading your team and the strategy and the vision. So thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle, for chatting with me today and sharing your take on resiliency. And to all of our viewers, thanks for tuning in and have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.